Awesome. Welcome everybody to the biweekly Wednesday night call. I've enjoyed having these. When I was getting ready for this week, I was so excited to be able to plan and get something together for this. Just so you guys know, my goal and vision for these calls, and by the way, we're speaking of goals, visions, mission today, is to have you guys, as you grow your businesses, come and teach and train our team. I don't want to be the one who's always here teaching because I'm here right with you guys, trying to learn, trying to grow. And I think the more that we can learn from each other, the better. A couple things I wanted to announce, just for fun. I started the third season of my podcast. It's called The Level Up Life, and this season is only interviewing like the highest of the high earners in multi-level marketing direct sales. And they're not only going to be from Make Wellness. I interviewed a seven-figure earner from the company Melaleuca that's in my hometown. And that's a company that's been around for 40 years. And he's about to hit the top rank that only one other person has achieved in their life, and it was his mentor. And he's only been building for 7 years. And that company's been around for 40 years. So it just goes to show, like, as I interviewed him, it's never too late if someone's willing to build the community and put in the work. So when I was interviewing him, the whole time I was like, man, he started this 36 years after the company launched their opportunity and is about to hit the highest rank and be one of the highest earners. And I'll just tell you, he earned $146,000 last month in his seventh year in 1 month. And that's my parents got introduced to that in home meetings back when I was a baby. So just to show you that. So when we're here, I share that example with you because I get messages from people, even on this team, that are like, "Oh, did I miss the boat? Am I too late?" And those are excuses. Um, really, like, obviously, we're still so brand new that I didn't even start my former company until 6 years in. So you're never too late if you're willing to put in the work and put in the grind and stay consistent. And that's why I'm really excited to help you guys get some clarity today. Brian said he listened to that podcast. I did too. I also did our upline, Nate DeTracy, yesterday, I believe, was the interview with him. And he's the highest earner in this company. Like, we can't go out there and share income claims, but 250K in a month. But he is the sponsor of us, of Lindsay Matway, of Jordan and Kristen Kemper, this entire downline and team. So we just talked about a lot of we talk about the principles and the mindset of what it takes to be successful in this specific business model. So if you guys are looking, like Justin Prince says, be where the leaders are. So I'm doing that so I can be with them in a conversation. First, it's a selfish thing for me in that aspect, and then be able to share that knowledge freely with other people. So just want to make sure you guys were aware of that, so you can take a listen to those when you want. And then secondly, remember that, and we'll be talking about goals today, that we have the opportunity to earn our spot into the sleep peptide trial, to have early access. And if you qualify that, let's not say if, when you qualify for that, you get early access and you get to bring 4 people with you. Just briefly to remember how to qualify for that, you have to be a premier affiliate and have 2,000 in circle sales more than you had the month before. So let's say, I know Brian's just launching his business right now. He just ordered his first peptides and tried out Energize and enjoyed the taste. His circle sales would show that price amount, like under $100. Well, that was this month. So it would show 0 for last month. So Brian, for you to qualify for that, you would just have to hit right at the 2,000 mark because you had 0 sales in the previous month. So hit Premier and have at least 2,000 over what your last month was. So for example, for me, if I was 12,000 in circle sales, I would need to have 14,000 this month. If you were 3,000, you would need to have 5,000. If you were 500, you would need to have at least Premier and 2,500, just 2,000 more than you did last month. Or hit Premier, which is 2,000 in sales, and develop one new Premier team. So I know I see Jessica on here. Jessica's sponsored in Nilka's team. So Nilka's a Premier affiliate. So Nilka could earn her spot in that by hitting Premier, which she will do because she does that month by month. And Jessica, one of her downline team, hits Premier. And that would be a new premier team for Nilka, and Nilka could earn that spot and bring Jessica and three others on that early access. So that's how you achieve that. So I want to make sure we knew about that. The new Energized flavor limited time offer is sold out if you weren't aware. I found out a little bit late. I sent out some links and then I went in to check it for myself and it wasn't there. So that's how I found out. So that's all the announcements I have. There is a team retreat in September that you guys are welcome to go to. It's hosted by our upline, by the DeTracys and the Kempers and Lindsay Matway. It's in Dallas. I was thinking about going. I'm not going to be able to go. My kids both play football, and it's a special time for me to go archery hunting with my dad during the month of September. So I'm not going to that, but I want to get this on the radar for you guys right now. Come to the March event. It's like our big annual convention. Um, I want you to commit to coming to that event in March with us. What we're going to be doing, I don't have all the details yet, but we will be doing a team retreat around that event. I've hosted team retreats for the past 14 years in my former company. And one thing that I've discovered is that I always do it outside of corporate events, and then it just takes more time away from your family, more travel time, more airfare. And so I'm going to be doing team retreats around company events. So come to the company event in March, and we'll either have it like 2 days before the event or 2 days after. I'm thinking most likely after, so that we can decompress what we learned as a team and know how to come away from that event with an action plan as a team. So have that on your radar. I'm going to the event in March, the second company event, and going to be able to spend time at a team retreat afterwards. So that's the biggest announcements that I wanted to share with you guys. We're going to jump right into our training today. While I'm talking, please feel free to unmute yourself if you have a quick question or want to make a comment, or put it in the chat. I'll try to kind of moderate that chat as we're going as well. For example, Sandra asked a question. There's not a specific date yet. When I see it, I'll be right on top of it, and we'll be talking about it on every single team call. One of the 7 skills of a professional network marketer from the book GoPro by Eric Worre is promote events. So if you see me promoting the event and the future team retreat, I'm practicing that skill. So okay, so make sure that you are aware of that. Okay, the topic for today is vision, mission, and goals. I'm going to share my screen just real quick, and then I'm going to unshare it because I like to see faces when I'm on here. This worksheet I sent out an email 10 minutes ago, 10 minutes before this call, with a download to this PDF and a screenshot photo of it. So check your email. Emails come from me at scottyhobbs@scottyhobbs.com. I also put just not the PDF, but the screenshot into our team page. So make sure to print that out, or if you get the PDF, I'm sure you can type on it coming out of this call. So I want to make sure that you guys have that for after this call, because we're going to do some work on the call, but you're going to need to do some deeper work after the call on your own when you're in some silence and some meditation and some prayer or talking with your spouse. So make sure that you are aware of that as we go through this topic today. So I'm doing this training because of one of my favorite scriptures, Proverbs 29:18. In the King James Version, it says, "Where there is no vision, the people perish." I'm sure you guys have all heard that. Whether you have read the Bible or not, you've heard something along that line. Where there is no vision, the people perish. So I want to share a little bit of my brief vision quickly. I know you guys have heard it so many times. But my vision as this team, by the way, it's expanded even in the last 5 days. As I was talking with Nate on the interview, my vision expanded even more. And so he had a vision. I'm going to tell you guys on that podcast, if you haven't listened to it, his vision, I can't remember the number, but I think it's 20. He has a goal in 3 years to have 20 people earning 100 or 6 figures a month with their business. And I told him I will be one of those people. So when I made that decision, I have to increase some of my other goals and my other visions so that I can line up with that. Now, Ed Milet is one of my favorite personal development podcasts. He says, in order to attract the right people to your vision and your goal, you got to have a dream and a vision that's so big that it has to fit other people's vision, other people's goals into that vision. Other people's goals and visions need to fit into that. It can't just be a personal vision or goal. It needs to be big enough for other people's goals to fit inside that vision. A great example of that was Nate sharing his vision. I want to develop 20 people who are earning six-figure months. When he said that, I was like, I could see myself being a part of that bigger vision of his. Does that make sense? So as you're thinking about your vision, oftentimes your goals, your vision are just personal and they need to be much bigger so that you can attract the right people into that business. Now, my vision is to, as this team right here, the Level Up Squad team, my vision is that we, in the next 5 years, this is a 5 year vision, that we help 100,000 people feel better with natural peptides. 100,000 individuals that are using the peptides and they are in love with how they're feeling. Doesn't matter if they're affiliates or customers, but 100,000 people that are feeling better with these natural peptides. I want to develop in the next 5 years 10 seven-figure earners in this business and 100 families that are earning six figures from this business. That's my big vision. That's why I wake up. Guys, I'm going to be honest with you. You're not always going to feel like it. You're not always going to be feeling like it. But when you have that clarity of vision and goals, you show up no matter what. Guys, today, like I'm under the weather. And you might not know right now because I just pounded some Energized and my fit number two. And like I sprinted this parking lot like 5 times before I loaded this call because I needed to get into this state. Every part of me wanted to grab this pillow right here. It's stuck behind here. This pillow and sleep for the 2 hours of my son's football practice today. But because I have that clarity of vision, it pulls me to take action and follow through with the promises that I make. And I made a promise to this team that we were doing team calls every 2 weeks. And so that's just a small example of when you have that clarity of vision, how you pull yourself through even when you might not feel like it. So tonight, I want you guys to walk away with not just knowing what your vision, mission, and goals are, but with clarity on your own. I don't want you guys to be followers of Scotty Hobbs or followers of Lindsay Matway or followers of Justin Prince or of Make Wellness. I want you guys to have clarity of your vision, your goals, and where you're going to take your life and the people that are going to come on board with you guys. So, I have a story that's one of my favorites. So, someone walked up. There was this like construction site. Okay. And there were these bricklayers that were working side by side. They were laying brick after brick. In this, there's this brick wall, and they were in this grind. I imagine the day as being super hot, and it's not a fun day to be working. And someone walked up to that first man and asked him, "What are you doing?" And he kind of shrugged his shoulders. He said, "I'm laying bricks." And for him, it was just a job. It was one brick after the next, just putting up bricks. That was his job. That's what he shows up, clocks in, and gets paid for. They asked the second man the same question. He seemed to be a little bit more not as grudgingly working on his project as the first guy. And he's like, "What are you doing?" And he said, "I'm building a wall." And so he could see beyond that brick that was in his hand or that brick that he was laying down. He could see that he was building that wall. He had a little bit bigger picture, but still, it was only about the wall that was in front of him. He was still looking forward to that 5 o'clock when he could clock out, and go home and be done with that work for the day. And then he came to the third man. This man, I imagine him like he's whistling, he's got a smile on his face, and he's laying bricks. He's working on that same wall. He's using the same bricks. And they ask him, "What are you doing?" And he looks up and he smiles. He says, "I'm building a cathedral." You see, he wasn't just laying bricks. He wasn't just stacking walls. He saw the whole vision. He saw this a magnificent cathedral that would stand for generations and inspire people long after he was gone. Now, here's the point of that story. Every day in this business, we're all laying bricks. And that looks like sending messages. It looks like posting on social media. It looks like following up. It looks like inviting somebody to a call or to a party, a team party at Scotty's house this Friday night, or helping somebody with their first order. And that's what the daily grind looks like, the laying of the bricks. Now, if you're not careful, these things can feel small, repetitive, boring, or that it doesn't even matter. So the difference is in your perspective. Some people will only ever see the bricks in their mind or in their hand or the one that they're setting down. Some will see the wall that they're building, but the people who truly make an impact, and that's one of the things you'll see Justin Prince talk about all the time on his social media, impact. Those that make that impact, that go on to change their families' lives completely, who live a legacy, who live a legacy and leave a legacy. Those that see the cathedral while they're laying are those that see the cathedral, see the bigger picture while they're laying that first brick. So that's what we're doing here together. Every message that you send, every post, every conversation, you're not just laying those bricks, you're building a cathedral. You're building a life of freedom. You're building better health and a business that blesses your family and others for years to come. Now, I don't know, have you guys heard that story before of the bricklayers? Like, I love that. So, as you go about your business, it's going to be important that you see the bigger picture. Because honestly, as a natural introvert, I don't love, which is the first thing I do, I habit stack it. After my workout, I get in the sauna and I send out new conversations. I start, hey, what's up, Jenny? I saw you were watching my stories today. Looks like you have a beautiful family. Where are you from? And then I'll go on, hey, what's up, Michelle? Thanks for the follow. I always like to get to know the people that I'm following. I sent you a follow back. Where are you from? Like I sit down and do that thing first thing every day. It's just laying one brick at a time. But I do it because I see that bigger vision. This could be one of those 1 million people that feel better. This could be one of those people that go on to feel better. But not only that, they go on to build a business and earn six figures in their business, and their life and their families are completely changed, right? So those daily actions matter every single day. So we're going to talk about some of the right. We're going to talk first about vision. I want you to think of the vision as the big picture, because vision and mission and goals are all different. Sometimes we talk about them all as one thing. So we're going to talk about them separately and go through them fairly quickly. And we're going to do an activity with each one. So the vision is the dream. It's where you want to go long term. It's the mountain that you're climbing. Now, a vision is important because people follow leaders who have a clear vision. Vision keeps you going when the grind gets hard. So you have to have that vision that pulls you. So, for example, the vision of helping 1 million people feel better with natural peptides, the vision of helping families reach seven figure or six-figure incomes. Okay. So that's the bigger vision for me. So what I want to do is I want to do an activity. So make sure you guys get your notepads out and your pen or your pencil. And we're going to get quiet and we're going to spend like 5 minutes. Like I said, you're going to have to go expand on this a little bit later. But I'm going to ask you guys a question. If money and fear or any other thing like that were no object, what would your life, family, and business look like 5 or 10 years from now? So we're gonna sit in silence. I would put music, but then the YouTube will copy strike me. And so we're gonna sit in silence and you guys are gonna write down if money were not an objection, or your job was not an objection, or your kids were not an objection, or time. If there were none of those, what would your ideal life, family life, your business, and your finances look like 5 years from now? And I'll write as well a little bit. Keep writing. I just let my friend Felicia in, so I'll just tell her what we're doing. We're spending 5 minutes right now writing down if money or fear or object, any object or objective thing were not an issue, what would your ideal day look like, life look like 5 years from now? Okay, I would like to go a lot longer, but I want to make sure we get through all these. Like I said, you're going to have to sit down late tonight when the kids are in bed or early tomorrow and finish mapping this out. Um, I'll just share like I feel like mine is pretty clear, but I in the silence I started writing some. I just want to share some. My home 5 years, my home is paid off. My new home is paid off. Sending kids on HXP service trips like I sent my daughter on, traveling to Fiji with the family, Australia, Africa, Alaska, paying someone to clean our home. So, like, I expanded my vision just a little bit there as well, like my ideal life. So, okay. So, you guys are going to expand on that a little bit later. I'm going to, Jenny, will you unmute real quick and just share a couple of things that are part of your vision?
Definitely more family time, doing more things that we enjoy as a family, and more time with my husband,
Yeah,
and serving more in our church and local areas as a family.
I love that. Jenny's husband works like, I feel like 20 hours a day in the gel. Okay, Brian, I'm gonna ask I'm gonna ask you as well. Share some of what your vision looks like.
Yeah, for us, want to upgrade our home to something larger. Just kind of been on our goal list for a while now. So in 5 years, would love to do that, just to have more space and more land for everybody, and then have our debt completely paid off. So I still might want to be teaching because I really like my job,
Yeah.
but but I'd like to be able to like go on the trips and other stuff where as a teacher, we're kind of locked into a schedule, but if we had, more financial freedom, then that may not be as much of an issue, I don't think.
Yeah. I love that. And it's totally noble if you're a teacher, a doctor, a lawyer to stay with and love your career, but then create something extraordinary outside of that where you're making an impact, where you can upgrade your home. You don't have to worry about a raise or whatever. You don't have to worry about if you want to take your kids to Australia and not even worry about how much it costs, or if you could stay a month or 2 months or whatever, and you just go do it. So there's lots of things. Um, One of my big visions early on in my career that drove me to a seven-figure income, because I'm not money driven. It may sound like it when I write my goals, but when I was got to six figures, I was driven for that because I knew I could leave my job if I did that. And I had that desire. I knew that would offer me the opportunity to step away and be able to work from home. But then I started growing. I was like, okay, how do I continue to grow myself? Because I don't want to just stay here. I want to continue growing as a human. I want to help other people advance. And if I help more people advance, obviously my income is going to grow as well. So I set a vision and a goal. A goal, this is going to be the vision and the goal. And so you can see how those things are two different. I was like, I love archery hunting and I love being in the outdoors and I loved going to my cabin. But here's the thing, all my friends worked and I couldn't go with anybody but my kids. And my dad is like my favorite human on earth, but he had a job. And my dad is my hunting partner, so I was like hunting on my own because my kids were not old enough. So my I set a goal to earn seven figures. And the vision for that was if I could when I could get to that space, I would feel comfortable offering my dad to pay him and my mom's bills and have him step away from his job. And so the thing that drove me to that is I was so clear on that vision of I wanted to be able to let my dad know that he could retire from his job. And with that clarity, I was able to achieve that. And he stepped away from retired from his job at 59, and he's just turning 69 this year. So 10 years ago, I retired him from his job. But the goal was $1 million a year. But the vision was I would be able to have my dad not have to work. He could go camping, hunting with me, spend time with me, and the family. So, okay, that's the difference between real quick between vision and goals. And we'll go through them a little bit more here. So, the next one we're going to talk about is mission. So you guys wrote down a little bit of your vision. Your mission is the heartbeat. Your vision is like the dream of what you want to accomplish. The mission is the heartbeat. So the mission is why you do what you do, the purpose behind the vision. So this is going to be super important to you to know what your clear mission is. so that because the mission grounds you, it keeps you aligned with your values and it connects you emotionally with people. So my mission, so I could tell you guys what my mission is, and then you guys can start writing out and discovering what your mission is. It's to remind people that their family is their most important work on earth. It's to help them feel better, and it's to help them earn more income for their family. Okay. So I and some of my friends encountered a very difficult time when our incomes and businesses were taken away from us. But I had such clarity on my mission. My mission. I was confused on my vision a little bit because I lost all my income. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to continue to achieve this vision. I kept the vision. And by the way, it's expanded since then, but the mission was very clear. Remind people that their family was their most important work on earth, help people feel better, and help people earn more income for their family. So when I had to make a decision what I wanted to do with my next career path, what I wanted to do, the most important thing to Gabby and I was that I was working from home. That was the most important thing. We were okay selling our dream home in that moment, in those moments of making that decision. We were okay selling the dream home. We were okay selling our fifth vacation rental. Our home was paid for that we lived in. And so I was like, I can just live off of our Airbnbs and I can sell off those big properties and I can just kind of chill out and be a present dad. That was the most important thing. Why was I so easy to make that decision? Because I knew that my family was the most important work on earth. That going to get some job that I could have possibly got was not. And I had this conversation with my kids. When we told them we were going to sell our dream home, my youngest was like, "But Dad, my basketball court," and like it broke my heart a little bit. But I said, son, do you want me to work 12-hour days and be gone before you get up and work until you go to bed for that house with the basketball court? Or do you want me to be home like I've been for the last 10 years of your life? He said, I want you to be home. And so it was very easy for me because I was clear on that mission, on that mission, right? Fortunately, um, Make Wellness was launching. We have the peptides, right? It was an easy decision for me because of my other two steps of my mission: help people feel better and help people earn more income for their family. So it was a very easy decision after I cried for 2 days to say, like, okay, this is the best platform that I can see because I did look at like 10 different opportunities. This is the best platform for me to help people feel better and help people earn income. Like the best compensation model that I could see, the best affiliate model, and the best products that I could find. So my mission: remind people their family is the most important work on earth, help people feel better, and number three, help people earn more income for their family. Because I had such clarity on my mission, it was an easy step to step into that and then continue with the vision that I had before. So, with that being said, that's what a mission is. It's the heartbeat behind what you do. It's the purpose behind that vision. So, I want to have you guys write down. We're going to spend another like 5 minutes. Here's the question: why am I really building this business? Who do I want to, and I'll copy it into the chat thread. Who do I want to impact? And what values do I never want to compromise? Well, I'm going to add another one on there that I can't remember where I heard it, but I asked it on my last podcast as the last question. How do you want your, oh, I saw it a reel. Like it said, ask your mom and dad before they die this question. It was like a reel. And so I saved that question and I'm going to put it in there. It's how do you want your future grandkids and great grandkids to remember you when you're no longer on earth? So that could all be a part of your mission. So I typed them in or copied them in. Why am I really building this business? Who do I want to impact? What values do I never want to compromise? How do you want your future grandkids and grandkids to remember you when you're no longer on earth? Okay, so we'll take 5 minutes and we'll write that out. And by the way, I'm doing this with you to get more clarity. Okay. I know there's probably a lot more to write. I have a lot more to write as well. But even as we're talking today, feel free to jot them in your notes. And then remember, I want you guys to set some time apart later to get real clarity on this. I'm going to share mine and then I want to hear from a couple as well. And this is like adding on to some of the things I already do. So mine is I want to show my kids that you can have everything taken away from you and build from scratch at no matter what age. And I've shared that with a few of you, but my kids watched me like cry at the end of my bed, just like having a career taken from me. Afraid I was losing our dream home, not sure how if I'd be able to continue working from home. They saw me broken for a couple of days and they've never seen that. And so I want to show them that you can get hurt, fall down, and you can get back up and build again. So that's part of mine. Then I want to reach that hardworking person who knows there's something better out there for their life that's not getting recognized or compensated. They have dreams that they once dreamed of that they've stopped pursuing because it just doesn't seem possible. I want to make them feel valued and help them earn an income that completely changes their family's future. One of my most important values is that I help people no matter whether they buy from me or not, and I empower them to improve their life through my personal example. I want my kids and grandkids to remember me as someone who loved his savior and family. I want to be present with my wife and kids and future grandkids and be someone they remember who was never rushed and who took life slowly and was present in the moment with them. Because I'm definitely not living that in some areas. I'm like to my kids, I'm like, hey, give me like 10 minutes. Like, I'm trying to get this team call ready or whatever. I gotta get on this podcast. Like I'm like that with my kids all the time. Like when I did my podcast yesterday, it's like, no, in an hour. Like I gotta get my podcast set up. I gotta go use the restroom and get my notes out. And like I'm very rushed like that. And that's how I am as a person. And so I want to be present. Like I see my dad when he's with my every Friday night he takes my youngest son and my niece and he takes them and they like stroll through the dollar store and it could take them 30 minutes. When my kid goes, I'm like, "Oh, let's go." I'm in the line, I'm like, "I'm buying. If you're not over here, you don't get your treat." And so he just lives a very slow-paced life with them and present and I want to be like that. Okay. So I'll write more clarity as well. I'm gonna ask Felicia. Could you share some answers to some of those?
Yes.
Perfect.
You asked me on all the hard ones. I am not driven by money, so I think that's why I have a really hard time with this, to be honest. Um, I said I want to help others feel better, have more confidence, and to create more freedom so they're able to dream and laugh again. I just realized that a lot of people are just in this little box, and I want to create more freedom for them to aspire and do more things that they want to do versus I have to go to work and I have to like grind all the time.
Yeah.
I said I want to retire myself and my husband so we can be home and really be free from the chains of like our jobs and just like be fully present. Like I think that would just be for me that would be really cool. Um and then to reach stay-at-home moms that want to create change, like long-lasting, life-changing change, like hardworking Americans. I really liked yours, where it's like I just want the people who want to stop the cycle and create something different for their family and for their kids and just like future generations. Um, what values do let's see, who do I want to impact? I was like, initially it was my kids and then others around me. I just feel like I just want to impact my kids and show them that firsthand that they can dream and they can do something if they set their mind to it, which I'm having a hard time myself. So, anyway. And then what values do I never want to compromise? Probably integrity and just being honest with myself and the products. And I love them, so I'm not compromising anything. And how do I want my future grandkids to remember? I just said fully present and like weekly dates with my grandkids and just being fully engaged them in them that I don't have to worry about working or I just want to be fully engaged with them and slow down like your dad because I feel like I'm always the one that's like, no, let's go, let's go, let's go. And I'm rushing them and I just want to slow down and just like savor life.
Yeah. Beautiful. That's a lot of clarity right there in that short exercise. So imagine even setting aside some more time and getting a little bit deeper on that clarity. I love that. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I was thinking about today, the kids went back to school for the first day today. And like I finished my work. My goal is to finish by like 2:30. And we had our daughter pick up the kids. So we had like an hour and a half or like 2 hours where I wasn't doing work. And Gabby and I were just like, we did some power washing of the port. They were like chores, but it was like so fun. And I was undoing the hose and she was sitting on the rocking chair on the front porch after we'd cleaned it. And I was like, this is what life's gonna be like. Like this is gonna be so beautiful. Like we love raising kids, but like, can you imagine like it's just like nothing to do but like just like be together and work on projects and rock on the front porch. I was like, this is what it's about. Like I feel like I felt a moment of it today in that hour and a half. And so that was a beautiful moment for me on that. I want you to just think of an example, guys. My when I before I started Beachbody, my former company, I was like the last person you would invite to this business. Okay. I want you guys to understand that. Like I worked 12-hour days, introverted. I didn't talk to anybody. I didn't go to the church. I didn't talk to any neighbors. Like I was the guy that would leave at 4:45 in the morning. I'd come zipping down the cul-de-sac at 5 o'clock. The garage would go up, the garage would go down. Who I would be in there raising three little girls while my wife was at work. I'd put them in bed. I'd crack open a beer and I'd play Call of Duty, and then I would pass out, fall asleep, and I would wake up and do it again. Like, does that like seem like your ideal person? It doesn't really sound like that, but I wanted something better. I wanted something better. And I want you to think about this kind of goes along with like what Felicia was sharing. It's like she's not financially driven, but I was literally praying for a way to get out of that situation, to have my wife not work nights. I was buying and selling things on Craigslist in my spare time on my lunch break. I was making custom signs. I put two of my neighbors' vinyl fences up. I painted some things. I My friend owns a mortuary. I went and helped pick up people at night when they died, and he would pay me $50. And he would call at 2 a.m. when I would go to bed at midnight and have to get up at 5, and I would go with him. I would help bring someone that had passed away during the night, usually older people, and I would go assist him in that. And I'd come back, sleep for 45 minutes and get to work. Like I was praying for something and I was doing everything I could to earn that extra dollar. So I want you to think about that. Lindsay cast a vision that she was building a team that was going to allow that with products that she loved. She said that she had walked away from bartending so she could be present with her daughter London, who was born prematurely. They incurred a few $100,000 worth of medical debt. And that vision, she's like, I walked away from bartending and I'm slowly paying off the debt. And I heard that vision and I fit into that vision. I was like, wait, I love these products. I'm killing myself with all these overtime hours to pay off a couple $100,000 worth of this mortgage. And I'm doing everything I possibly, you're telling me that you're going to pay that debt off with this. And so her casting that vision drew me in. So I want you to think about it. Like, I want you to just, it might be hard to do, but visualize what it must feel like for Lindsay today to see Scotty and Gabby and their 5 kids in their dream home, or even Scotty 15 years or 14 years working from home and present with his kids. I want you to put yourself in Lindsay's shoes. And I can do that for hundreds of people as well, like my friend Brigida Linford. Like I watched her sell her home in Idaho Falls and move into like a resort like home in in Arizona. Like I saw all these beautiful things. I saw my friends Mike and Jen earn over $1 million and start they're passionate about moonshine. And they run the TripAdvisor's #1 moonshine tour in Gatlinburg. Because they had the opportunity for Mike to step away from law enforcement where he was doing like 80 to 90-hour weeks, and she was a paralegal, and they've been home present with their kid, running their own business now for 13 years. So like when I see that, like I want you to put yourself in that, like you're going to be that person. Like imagine when you have your first person, let's say Felicia, that earns $50,000 and they're earning 40 as a school teacher and they get to be home with their kids. How will you feel when you watch that happen? That's the level you got to get to take this to the next level when you're thinking outside of yourself. Okay. Man, I could talk on this forever. Like I give just a million examples, but we're going to continue through so we can wrap up before the hour. The last one, so we talked about vision, we talked about mission. Remember, vision is like the dream, what you want to accomplish kind of for yourself personally. The mission is the heartbeat, what keeps you grounded in it. Now we're going to talk about the goals. The goals are the roadmap. Okay. Goals are specific, measurable steps towards the vision. And so the vision is the dream. Remember, the mission is the why, the heartbeat behind it. The goal is the how. Without them, you're not going to move forward. So, so you've got to set goals. And I'm not going to talk about SMART goals because I don't like SMART goals. I like goals that don't seem achievable. I know Felicia does like some freaking hard races. Like she doesn't set SMART goals when she does her runs and her races. They're like hardcore goals. And she's an elite athlete because of that, because she sets bigger than normal, bigger than average goals. So we're not going to talk about the SMART, measurable, attainable goals. We're going to talk about big goals. Okay. Um, I want to do life big. And if you want to be one of the 1% that makes a difference, that stands out, that people look at them and be like, oh, they're different. Like people want to be around people that are different. So Felicia probably knows this name. Like I'm heavily attracted towards watching a guy named Cam Haines. Like the dude is an archery hunter. All he does is talk about shooting. All he does is shoot his bow, run, and carry big rocks up mountains. He does like hard things. And his son, following in his footsteps, like breaks records with doing like pull-ups for like 24 hours straight. Like they do big things. And like I'm like, I gotta watch these guys. Like if Cam came to town, I would want to go meet him. I would be like, I gotta go be by this dude and his son. It's because they're not doing normal stuff. They're doing extraordinary stuff. So I want you to think extraordinary when you're doing these things. Okay. Okay, we're gonna talk about these goals. We're not gonna do them smart. Okay, we do need short-term goals. So short-term goals are like achieving for you. I'm just giving you some ideas. Like go crush it in the last 11 days of this month and achieve your spot in the sleep peptide trial and bring 4 friends with you. That could be a short-term goal. Short-term goal could look like getting 5 new customers or affiliates this month or in a given month. Those are short-term goals. Like I mastered doing that in my former company. It was bring on 10 new customers or affiliates to my business every single month. Guys, doing that was I wish you could just understand this. Like I set the goal to bring on 10 new customers or affiliates to my business every month. And I did it for 14 years without ever missing a month. That's a short goal. That's a small short goal. It might seem big right now to you, but if you stay consistent, that can become very attainable. I did it without missing a month for 14 years. Guys, that goal and then just teaching others to set goals like we're doing today earned me $10 million in commissions over 14 years. Like you could be like, how did you earn $10 million? How did you develop $5 million earners? How did you hit the top 10 in the country? I don't know. But I set a goal to earn seven. Like I set those goals and those visions. And then I did the monthly goal, the smaller monthly goal every single month. So create a small goal for yourself. Remember, that could look like 5 new customers or affiliates a month. It could look like 10. You get to decide, but you've got to have a goal. Then I want you to set a long-term goal. Long-term goal for me, helping 1 million people as a team feel better with natural peptides, helping 10 families earn 7 figures and 100 families earn 6 figures a year. That's the bigger long-term goal. The short-term goal, bring on 10 new customers or affiliates every single month personally. Okay. So we're going to do another exercise where we're going to spend like 5 minutes. I want you to set 1 or 2 short-term goals and 1 or 2 long-term goals. And we will go now. I should have chugged all my Energize. Now I got an itch in my throat and I got no water in here. Okay, we're going to make that one shorter because that one doesn't take as much to write that down. But remember, you're going to review this later, and I have that assignment for you too. So I asked ChatGPT a question because I'm clear on my goals on that. So I asked a question because I'd heard it before, but I didn't know the exact stats, so I wanted to give them to you. Only about 20% of people have goals, like just have a goal in their mind. Roughly 3% of adults write down their goals consistently, and 1% or less review of people actually write down their goals and revisit them daily. So 20% have goals, 3% write them down consistently, 1% or less actually write down their goals and revisit them daily. Okay. There's some research that shows people who wrote down their goals are 42% more likely to achieve them than compared to those who had just their goals in their mind. 42% more likely. Those who also had accountability, sharing it with a friend or a mentor, achieved goals at the highest rate. The 3% who write down and review goals regularly are often found to be the most financially and professionally successful group. This is why in the personal development circles, you'll often hear the top 3% of achievers are the ones who write their goals down and review them daily. Okay, guys, the first thing I do every single morning, I'm going to assign you guys to do this. You see, if you look at my stories, there's a green note. It's green right now. It was purple before, but I write down my vision. I write down something I'm grateful for. I write down my vision. I write down my goals as if they've already happened. Everything I've been saying to you guys, I write them down. It's the same thing every morning. I write it down. Okay. So, I wanted to share those stats with you to tell you why we're writing these down. We're not just talking about it, and then you're going to need to clarify them and then revisit them every single day. Okay. Because of the time, we're not going to share them out loud right now. But just let's kind of bring this all together, wrap it up. Vision equals where I'm going. Mission equals why I'm going there. Your goals equal how I'm going to get there. It's like if you're planning a road trip, vision is the destination. Your mission is why you're going to go there. And then your goals are the GPS steps that are going to get you there. Turn here, go there, stop here. And so think of it like a GPS. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ask you guys, we didn't spend a lot of time writing down, maybe 5 minutes at the most on some of them. By a raise of hands, who feels a little bit more clear now on their vision, mission, or goals? Just a little bit more clarity. Okay, so we got a little bit more clarity. By the way, I want to say thanks to Brian because Brian was inspired to take this business serious. He enrolled before because he heard me talking about my vision and was asking what should I put for my vision? What should this look like? And so thanks to Brian for this team training because I was like, I left him a long voice text. I was like, we need to get clarity for the team on this. So shout out Brian on that. So we feel a little bit more clear on that vision. I want to encourage you guys leaving this. I remember in your email, there's a PDF. And in the team page, there's also a screenshot of that PDF. If you can't find it, check your junk or spam. Mark me as a safe sender. I email you guys every week with team call reminders. But that PDF is in there, so you can write it on there if you want to get more clarity. And I want to encourage you this week, not by the end of the year, to get more clarity on those 3 areas. And then I want to challenge you to share your vision or mission with your family, your loved one, your upline, which is me or whoever sponsored you. I see people who are sponsored by other people here in this team. Share it with me so I know what it is by the end of the week. And I also bonus points. I don't know how those bonus points are rewarded, but I want you to talk about it in your social media consistently. Like I've started attracting people that I didn't think I would, that were ignoring me because they hear me say, I'm going to help 1 million people feel better with these peptides. Well, I actually say as a company, we're going to build $1 billion company. Our team is going to help 1 million people feel better with natural peptides. I'm going to help 10 people earn 7 figures a year and 100 families earn 6 figures a year. I have someone that's been ignoring me that built a giant, like he's got a portfolio of real estate of like 300 doors and built the largest pest control door-to-door sales team. Like he's like got Lambos and Ferraris and a house that costs double what mine did. And he lives here in my hometown and he's buying peptides today. And he's like, dude, I got my YouTube channel. I think I could sell these peptides on my YouTube channel. And That happened this week. And like Brian came to me this week because I got more clear about talking about that. So when I say bonus point, I think those bonus points are going to come back to you in people that are the right people for your business. So, um, do we know what our action steps are coming out of here? You're gonna get more clarity, write it out, get more clarity. You're gonna share it with your upline and some loved ones. Not the loved one that says like, I don't know why you're doing that thing. You're not sharing it with them. You're sharing it with people that will encourage you, and then you're going to share on social media as well, so we can attract those right people. Okay, all right. I'm grateful you guys were here. We're gonna wrap this up because my kids get out right in like 4 minutes, and I gotta be over there and ready to pick them up. So I'm grateful you guys are here. Please, if any of you want the opportunity to share your story or share what's working, message me and say, I want to teach on a team call. Um, like that door is open for anybody on this team. And I don't care if it's like you don't have any success yet in your make wellness business, but you know how to crush it in your fitness or crush it in your nutrition or crush it in goals with your fitness. Felicia, I'm looking at you or anybody on here. Like, we want to hear from everybody because we all have life experiences that we can learn from, that we can apply to this business, apply to our relationships, apply to our finances, and so forth. So reach out to me if you want the opportunity to challenge yourself and grow. And, or if there's somebody that you see out there in the world and you're like, I would love to learn from them, like, let me know and I'll reach out to them and see if they'll come be a guest on our team call anytime. So, okay. Thank you guys for being on here, and we'll see you guys in a couple weeks and inside the team page.